Hello, everybody. Welcome to this session on Sysdig, the comprehensive container security and monitoring solution. So, in this video, we will delve into the space of Sysdig security and monitoring solution and its unique value proposition, key components, and how it stands out against its competition. And we'll end up with a simple demo of the tool also. So in today's technology landscape, there are, when you're talking about workloads, so workloads are getting deployed into various places. There is a multi-cloud environment there. Enterprises are choosing not only one cloud, but they're embracing multiple clouds in a single organization. There are multiple CI/CD tools which are available there to ship your code. And with the advent of microservices, developers they are moving away from monolith applications and they are embracing a lot of microservices technologies. And Docker and Kubernetes being the leading ones in that. And within Kubernetes also there are a lot of flavors which are out there. So every cloud provider, for example, they provide their own flavor of Kubernetes. So in net, if you look at this, it's a very complex scenario when you're talking about a workload where it gets deployed and where all it is talking to each other. And given this picture, right? So if you think about the security concerns around the whole infrastructure, so the 90% of the supply chain, software supply chain, is not safe enough. And if you talk about the malicious images, the 10% of malicious images are completely undetectable, meaning if you run a scanner, you will not even find anything wrong with those applications, with those images in particular. And if you talk about attackers, so they just need 10 seconds once they find the credential to get into the enterprise and create havoc. So if you think of it, it is a complex scenario with the multiple places where you can run your workloads. There are multiple ways you can deploy your code, and there are a lot of architectures which are there which enables this. And with that, there is a big security concerns also. So now, considering this multi-cloud, on-premise data center and all, and you need to secure this. So the one thing with which Sysdig leads is, it not only secures this, it makes sure that you are able to monitor this also. Because the basic premise is, if you can't see what you have deployed, what is there in your infrastructure, you cannot basically secure it. Not easily you can secure it. So leading these two components, monitoring and securing, this is where Sysdig plays. So we have Sysdig Monitor and Sysdig Secure. As the name says, Sysdig Monitor is part of observability, and Sysdig Secure is part of the security side of things, which is led by Cloud Native and Runtime Insights. So now, why Sysdig, right? So there are a lot of vendors which are there in this particular space. So if you can think of Sysdig's value proposition, right? So it lies in its ability to seamlessly integrate security and monitoring into your containerized environment. By doing so, it ensures your applications not only run smoothly, but are also safeguarded against potential threats. You can scan containers, images for vulnerabilities, ensure compliance with industry standards, set up alerts for suspicious activity, monitor network behavior, and assess the overall security posture of your containerized applications. And Sysdig allows you to monitor your applications comprehensively. Its features include an advisor for optimizing performance, tracking cost associated with your infrastructure, being your workload is deployed on Google, your workload is deployed on AWS, and you need to make sure each cloud provider will provide their cost optimization or the cost structure. But having it in one place, that makes a big difference, and that's one of the USP for Sysdig. And then of course, watching all this data into one place, into the format in which you want, capabilities of creating dashboards and whatnot. That's a unique proposition for Sysdig. And of course, it provides a very deep visibility into Kubernetes health and performance. So these are I'll say more on the feature list of things. But if you think of it, right, so where Sysdig actually stands out is, the embracing of open source. So so there are a lot of components within Sysdig which is open source, so developers can they just start using it. And then of course the real-time insight which it provides using the Sysdig agents approach. And lastly, the commercial side of it, it has So this has been one of the main things for Sysdig, that it has kept the pricing very simple and easy to understand and very very easy to consume also. So with that, let's jump into the tool itself. So again, the demo is very simple. So one other thing, we will be creating a cluster. So in my case, I have used Google Cloud as the preferred choice, and then of course Sysdig, installing agents for those on those clusters also. And then once you have your images, deploy it in that Google Kubernetes engine, and then of course we'll delve into the screens of monitor and secure. So let's start getting into the tool itself. So once you have access to the tool, so let's see, first is cluster creation. So this one I'll not go into the detail. This is more related to the Google side of things. So but what it does is, once you have your project created within Google, you just need to create a cluster. And it provides a very very good tutorial actually to create the cluster. So when I come here, right, it will give me an option that which type of cluster I want to create, autopilot or standard. So in my case, I have chosen standard because it was just for demo. Autopilot, it's a auto scaling feature which distinguishes itself from the standard cluster. So you create that cluster, and actually they have one of the tutorial also available there, where you can create the cluster and deploy a workload on that cluster. I'll strongly suggest, just go through that. It's a guided visit. You just say next. It'll say okay, which one you want to deploy, and it'll give you the exact command which will deploy the workload into the cluster. And once you are done, it will start showing within your cluster. So I've already done that. So if I come here, so my cluster is here, cluster 1. And if I go to the workloads, I'll be able to see this Hello World app, and also one of the other app which I have deployed on this particular cluster. And of course the Sysdig agents also, which will go into detail just right after this. So very straightforward approach. You have your workload, deploy it into the cluster of your choice, and once it is there, just make sure the app is working as it is designed. So let's get into the Sysdig side of things now. So now Sysdig, once you have the access, right, so you will see on the top it says Sysdig secure, and here it says Sysdig monitor. So you can easily switch between these two components. So the basic thing is, once the tool is ready, you have to install the agent so that it can pull those insights and provide that information back into the tool itself. So first thing you will do is you will start integrating data sources. Of course, in this case, I have a cloud account which is already configured. Then you have your managed Kubernetes, which is my cluster 1, which I created on Google. So this is also, it's saying it is all connected. And then the Sysdig agents, right? So Sysdig agents, it gives you a very simple command to run, and it will make sure that okay, agents are deployed there. So for example, if I come here, I will choose okay, I want to deploy my agents on Kubernetes, and I just have to give my cluster name. So let's say my cluster name is ABCD. Now in this case, as soon as I write my cluster name, it gives my cluster name here. And you just take this command and run it, and it just needs Helm, and using those Helm commands, it'll deploy those agents. So that's what I did it for my cluster 1, and I copied this particular command and run this thing, and using that, all my agents were deployed onto my cluster. So very straightforward, very simple, and it just makes sure that okay, it is done within minutes actually. So let's go back to the first basic thing which we want to do within the tool. So now, so once your connectivity is done, so again in this connectivity, you can have your Git integration, which is, you can run your infrastructure as code using that. And, it'll provide a report. It'll go to your GitHub, pull all the information, scan those information, and then give you the report that what is, if something is wrong there. So with us, so first thing, so once we are, everything is connected, it gives you a CLI scanner also. So what I did was, actually I had all my images on GCR, run a very simple command. It's a Sysdig CLI scanner. Give the API URL and everything, all the information. And once you run it, it will retrieve that image and scan that particular image. It will give me the snapshot here, and then I'll be able to see that those results within Sysdig URL also. So this is done. It said okay, there are something in which it has failed. So if I come here now, right, so it is showing me this one ran, for example, 12 minutes ago, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. So this particular image, it is giving me vulnerabilities also, and it has categorized those vulnerabilities. For example, here it is saying it is there is a 3 critical vulnerabilities which are there, and one which can be exploited also. So of course you can click on those, you can see the details about that particular vulnerability, and you can take the remediation action on those, and which also will touch on a little later on. So very simple, very straightforward way to scan all your images from anywhere and get the collected result into your vulnerability tab under secure. So very cool feature. Again, sounds simple, but if you think of it, the kind of problem it is solving is you have hundreds of images running everywhere, and you don't want to go into each terminal and do that, see the report and all. Sysdig provides one view, one consolidated view for all your images. Then let's come to the next important part, which is the compliance side of things. So compliance is against industry standard, right? So it's a security posture which your company has decided for itself, and then there are some industry standards also. So in this, for example, let's say if I click on Kubernetes controls, okay, it says service accounts with cluster access. So this particular compliance result, right, it is giving me, it's saying that okay, there is something wrong with my attached controller. So I'll click on remediation, and it will give me either the action, or it will give me the commands to do to perform, so that that can be remediated. So in this case, it is just giving me a suggestion that hey, you know what, remove it, should have a minimal cluster access. So again, very powerful tool, very powerful capability, if you want to make sure that okay, it is following, it is in the right posture itself. Then the one thing which I wanted to show on this particular secure tool is the activity audit. So so in this case, you need to know what is happening at that very moment, and at a very detailed level also. So if I look at this, right, it is capturing everything within my infrastructure, and it is telling me, it is categorizing also that okay, from where that particular data is coming. So let's say if I do it for 3 days, it will show me a lot of data. And let's say I pull something. Okay, let's take this one. So in this case, if you see, right, so it is telling me that okay, there was some entry, some process, it was trying to do something on my infrastructure, and of course it gave me the client IP and the client port also. So using this, I can see whether this particular IP address, there is something wrong with this. If I click on this link, it will take me here, and it will say that 3 security vendors have flagged this IP address as malicious. So imagine the power of the tool, where you are looking at the audits at real time, and what is happening, who is trying to access your infrastructure, and whether that particular IP address is malicious or not. So this is a very very powerful capabilities in your security engineer's hand. They can be very very proactive, and very very reactive also. As soon as they see something, they can detect it, and they can take a action against it. So very powerful capability, and at a very very detailed level. So with that, let's go into the little bit onto the monitor side also. So if I click on for example here, right, if I click on try monitor, it will take me to the monitor screen. So this is how I land up here. And again, so in this one, I'm at the advisor tab right now. So advisor is, it is advising me on everything which it can monitor in my infrastructure. So in this case, for example, it is looking at the nodes. It is telling me okay, these are the 3 nodes which are running. Now if I come here and say workloads, for example, so hello world app, this is the one which I deployed there. it's giving me all the details about that particular hello world app, that pods are available, network IO, it's bare minimum right now in this case. And for the others, so the other app which I have deployed, it is giving me the similar details also. And of course, the other events also, it is telling me that okay, something has failed within the cluster. And if you click on something, you can further drill it down also. And one thing to notice here is, if you see a particular event and you find it's occurring very often, and you want to create an alert on that particular event, so directly from that event itself you can create a specific alert. So in this case, what I have done is I have created an alert. For example, some of the alerts which I created was underutilized. I wanted to make sure my container, it is the CPU use percentage is at a certain level. If it goes below that, it's a flag for me. So when I do this, it is sending out a notification to me, and notification I have configured as an email for me in this particular use case. Then the last thing on this is, you have all the data. You can go into various tabs and look at what is happening and whatnot. One of the good thing about this is, you can view your data in the way you want to view that particular data. So there are a lot of out of the box dashboards which are available as part of Sysdig, but you can create your own dashboards also. So for example, in this one, it is pulling a lot of information and telling me, okay, what is happening in the infrastructure and whatnot. What I have done is I created some of the dashboards. And the good thing about dashboard is you can change the panels also. You can move the panels around, put important things in front, on top, based on your desire. You can add more panels. You just have to give your own PromQL here, and it'll pull that relevant information for you. And second is, if I want, let's say for example, I can edit the existing one. I can move the panels around. It will give me various layouts. I can do that. I can change the size of a particular panel. So net, it is a very very strong capability in the hands of somebody who is having a hawk's level view. Just want to see the dashboard, see anomalies, and see what is happening within the infrastructure. So very powerful capabilities, and main thing is view the data the way you want to view that particular data. So with that, I'll just I'll just pass it on. Just reach back to us if you need any more information. It's we'll be more than happy to help you in this particular journey. And on the closing marks, right? So what we did today was, we just had a very very high level of Sysdig, where it plays. And of course we delve into the product, also into the tool, also looking at the monitoring side, what has been and also on the security side. Okay, and it is able to monitor what is happening within your infrastructure, take corrective action based on that, and of course do a preemptive scanning also of your images before it goes into production. So with that, I'll just leave it with this particular thought, that is your enterprise ready for a 555 benchmark for cloud response? So 555 is 5 seconds to identify an attack, 5 minutes to form your response, and 5 minutes to deploy your response. So it's a 10 minutes to pain. If you do that, is your enterprise ready for that? Are you, if something happens, can you achieve this particular benchmark? If not, or if yes, reach out to us, and we can definitely help you validate this. Just scan here this particular QR code and get in touch with us, and we'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you.